Welcome to episode 133 of Soccer Over Gotham. Mandy lifts another trophy edition. So we have a great show for all of you. Let me tell you what's on this episode. Well, first up, personal note, I got what I wanted. I've been manifesting this Gotham FC championship for, I don't know, feels like half a year now. So Gotham is now the champs of North, Central, and the Caribbean. So next up, the world. And we are also onto Pride Month next month. And I know we say this every year, but this time, like, we really mean it. Our LGBTQ plus friends are really under attack this year. So we do have to do everything we can to amplify their voices and protect them as much as we possibly can. So one way to do that is to join the Pride Raiser, which the Cloud9 supporter group does. We'll talk about that in a minute. It's super important, and always everybody should join in on that. But we're going to have a lot of fun in this episode. It's not every day that your favorite club gets to win a trophy, and does so in, I think, the funniest, most New York sports way possible. We also have a fan vote for Hero of the Month to discuss, a hashtag Once Gotham retirement to discuss. Then we will preview Gotham FC's next matchup. It's a big one, KC at home on Pride Night. So, Jenna, how are you?
I'm good. Happy to be here. So fun to cover a team winning a trophy, although I did not love that game started at 10 p.m. because I was tired. And I wanted to get a quick reaction piece out on my Substack. So didn't get a lot of sleep that night, but it was really cool to see. Really, really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So, everybody follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Threads, Blue Sky, YouTube, mostly YouTube, because we're building up our army there. So like us, subscribe, everything you can there. Okay, so Pride Raiser. Every year, Gotham FC's supporter group, Cloud9, does the Pride Raiser event, and basically you find them at Cloud9 Goth on all these social media channels. They're promoting it everywhere. Sign up, and essentially you donate money every time Gotham scores a goal. Now, it's been funny because some years Gotham doesn't score many goals at all, and then sometimes they score a lot of goals. So we're hoping that this means Gotham's going to score a lot of goals in June. So sign up, find them, and do it. It goes to, I believe, the Ali Forney Center, which is an amazing organization that definitely helps LGBTQ plus youths. So, Jenna, any thoughts on coming up on Pride Month right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's like you said, this year more than ever, it's important for us to acknowledge Pride and to let everyone know that, we are here for you, and as a gay person myself, it's definitely very important to me to acknowledge and celebrate Pride and my friends, and especially our trans siblings. And, I think Gotham in particular has done a very good job over the years of not only acknowledging but celebrating Pride. Not every team used to hold Pride matches. I think 2021 or 2022 was the first year that every team in the league held a Pride match. So it used to not be the norm, but Gotham was always one of the teams that did it. So definitely kudos to them on that. And come on, Esther, let's score some goals so we can get that Pride Raiser going.
Absolutely. So on a personal note, big fan of the Liberty.
Oh,
they
yeah.
are 4-0 right now. They're rolling teams.
Oh yeah, that last game against the Golden State Valkyries was a fun one. Not for Golden State.
No, and when a team wins a championship, they can rest on their laurels and come back with the same exact team and not have good success, right? Even teams that win championships need to evolve, and Gotham's a team that is trying to balance that, winning a championship and retooling the roster, getting better, and growing the roster. Liberty have done that. They kept their core, and they brought in Natasha Cloud,
Cloud. Oh.
Yeah. She's winning all the awards right now. She's killing it.
And I'm doing a WNBA fantasy with some of my friends, and I drafted her, and best draft day decision. Oh, she's been killing it for me.
Yeah. So go Liberty. They're killing it. They're fun. Go watch them.
Yes.
On to Gotham. We have Hero of the Month of May, and it's been an interesting month. We had Esther, Sonnett, Shapansky, and Howell as the choices. Sonnett won at 61%. I guess it's not how you start, it's how you finish, and she finished in the funniest way, which we'll get to. Uh, but just your thoughts.
Yeah, this is a tough one because like their May was so weird because they were not doing very well in the league. So I understand why like a Shapansky or an Astaire would not, win that poll. But for me, I know you had Howell in there too. For me, it's Howell. I think she's shown a lot of growth in this kind of new attacking midfield role that she's been taking on, and is just, I remember talking to her after the last home game, and she was just getting fouled left and right and cards for, because they were fouling her too much. And I said to her, I was like, what do you think it is about your game that like makes you such a target for that type of thing? And how do you keep your cool? And she was like, well, I don't keep my cool, which was very funny. But she knows, she's controlling that midfield. She's breaking up plays. She's cutting through. And so for me, I think it's her. Even though Emily Sonnett is just a world-class defender doing what Emily Sonnett does. So she's always going to be like up there for me as well. But I think for May, I'm going to give it to Howell just because I really like the way her game has been developing and what she's been doing in Gotham's midfield.
Yeah, I got Howell, but I also got a shout out to, I think Berger had a really good month. Jace looked impressive. I think she's finally like finding her form here at
Yes.
Gotham, looking great.
She looked great at the final.
Yeah, awesome. Torres had an excellent month, and
Yes.
we'll talk about her getting starts over Neely Martin in this tournament, which is interesting. Carter and Freeman as well, I think, had a good month of May, so good on them. But let's jump to this game, Jenna. This is interesting. Gotham rolls out the same lineup two games in a row. It is tournament mode for Gotham.
Yeah.
He does
Yeah.
seem to do that, doesn't he?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, he does when he gets his 11 that he likes for a particular thing. That's the 11. And there's pluses and minuses to that for sure.
Yeah. So let's talk about it. Obviously, Jace in the lineup, Purse on the other side. That's a pretty good attacking front. But I think the most interesting thing about this lineup is Taryn Torres being in the eights. I'm sorry, in the six in this one for both these games over Neely Martin, which I thought was quite interesting. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, for me, and I've asked him about this, Torres is much more of an attacking threat in the six than Neely is. Like Neely, I feel like is like a true. Oh, we have a guest star. Is a cat for those listening. Has entered the chat. But Neely is a true holding defensive midfielder in that sixth role. She has experience as center back, right back technically. So when she's in that role, like that's you're getting more of like a defensive minded player. But Taryn goes in when they want to really focus on the attack. And I think, trying to put myself maybe in Juan's head in making these decisions, if he's thinking that he's going to face a team that's going to employ more maybe a low block, which is something that Gotham has really struggled with this season, putting in somebody with the player profile of Torres makes a little bit more sense over someone like Neely if you're going to try and be more attacking minded and break that down. So I did find that interesting because Neely has been such a mainstay in that role, and I really like the way that Gotham plays when she's in that midfield role, but I understand why he would put in Taryn, and she has been great. She's looked amazing.
Yeah, I think you're 100% right. And it's something we've been talking about on this podcast for a while, lack of creativity between Howell and Martin, and Taryn has the ability to, like alley long, change field directions, dictate where the play is, and I think she's been excellent in these two games, and I think she earned those two starts. So good for her.
Yeah.
But
You reminded me of conversations we were having back in like 2022 about how she looked like a very similar player profile to Ali Long. I forgot about that. Good callback.
right. And I think the best thing about this lineup is going into a championship match with Mandy Freeman with the captain's band. She deserves it.
So much so.
Yeah. Player we can all rally behind. Let's get to the game itself. So this is like just the game overall. The field there was terrible on both games.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was chipped up, and just flowed weird. The ball was bouncing in weird spots, and
especially that first game, the semifinal. I was like, what is up with this field? It's a beautiful stadium. So I didn't really know what was going on there.
Yeah, there was that. And then we got Concacaf, which is the ref. Essentially, every single player had like 3 get out of yellow free cards, and it was chippy. And I think it was tough early on for Gotham, but I think they adjusted well to it. It's kind of funny where like you can like run through the back of a player to get a ball, but if you try to go like around the side of them, you get a foul. It's just weird.
It was very,
yeah,
very Concacaf-y.
yes, it was. And Tigres is a good team. Like I think that team, even America's a good team too, but Tigres I think could, if they're in form, knock off some NWSL teams in.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So this is a very, very dangerous team, and they got an excellent goalkeeper. And I just want to give a shout out to her. She had an amazing tournament. I think she was probably player of the tournament for me. I think she was recognized as like
She won the golden boot of the tournament, I think, right?
Yeah, the goalkeeper. Yeah,
or goalkeeper of the tournament. Yeah, well, so deserved. So deserved. Right. Panos, yes.
Yeah, stood on her head in this tournament, especially against Portland. I think she snuffed out a couple of really good chances in Portland and saving 2 penalties against Gotham. We'll get to that, but
yes, I'm sorry, not Panos is Club America's goalkeeper. Gonzalez.
Yeah, Itzel
Gonzalez. Yes.
But this
I remember because when Esther took the penalty, I was like, some Gonzalez on Gonzalez crime going.
True. Yeah, this is all Gotham for the most part. 23 shots to 7 shots on target to 1. It seemed like Tigres just wanted to sit back, hit on the counter with Catlana, which is very likely when you have Catlana playing. She was dangerous very early on.
I forgot how much I missed watching her play in the NWSL. Yeah, when I saw her, I was like, oh man, she's so fun to watch. And I love her celebration.
It's totally true. So 56% possession for Gotham. They led in passing. They led in corners, 6-3. So this was a pretty one-sided one-way traffic match. But I think Gotham did not find their finishing boots. So I think Gotham definitely needs some practice on penalties. They finished with 23 shots, and this was the highest total in a single game this season for Gotham. And they had 3.84 expected goals and just could not get one past the goalkeeper. So just your thoughts on Gotham not bringing their shooting boots.
I don't understand because they clearly can do it. Ella can score. Esther can score. Midge can score. Jace, like these players have all scored. So, and I don't understand like what happens in those moments when they're in front of net, that like they get into these weird slumps. Like I truly don't understand. And the penalty thing, to me, it's so funny because when they were going to take the first penalty and I was like, oh my God, who's going to step up? And I was like, I don't even know if I could pick who I would pick, because in the past I actually would have picked Jenna Neiswanger because her penalties were like.
Midge was actually a fairly good penalty.
Yeah,
that was just amazing save.
It was the goalkeeper. I mean, she guessed right, angled right. Like I was just like, and then I was, oh my gosh, I felt so bad for them.
I would appreciate the effort, but yeah, got to communicate.
Yeah, that was tough. That was a tough one. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I think the goalkeeper, like you said, like had a great game. I mean, sometimes that just happens.
Mm-hmm. And the Stairs, she's had the same penalty, I think, the past like 3 times. It just went to different sides. It's right at the height where goalkeeper can make a save on it, and it's just not a good penalty. You know, considering how many goals she scored in her career, I expect better on that. But I love that she finishes off the rebound and acts like that was meant to happen, and that she planned for that.
I meant to do that.
Yeah. But she doesn't care. It's the back of the net.
Exactly.
Gotham rolls on. Then let's talk about how we got to that second penalty, because it is the funniest thing I've ever seen. All right, so
it really is the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, the legend of Emily Sonnett, complete shithousery for just she. How do you describe this? I think she forces.
I've described this already several times. So this is how I do it. So basically, I will say that the Tigres player did have her arm wrapped around her too much, which allowed Emily to sort of roll into her and kick her feet up and almost force the Tigres player to look like she was like WWE dropping her onto the ground. It was brilliant, shithousery, hilarity, and then the ref was hilarious too when she was like hugging herself and then like pointing to this. It's like, But kudos to Emily Sonnett. She was born in the fires of CONCACAF, and she knew exactly what to do, and she made a penalty out of nothing, and that is how Gotham won the game.
Yeah, the player did have her arm around Emily, which is fine, but like Emily just kind of like climbed up on her and just laid on her, so she had to like drop her down. Just Emily will do. She's the master of the dark arts. Yeah.
So good. So good.
Yeah. It just had to be her. And it had to be Esther putting the goal in the back of the net and getting to the championship. Yes. Again, it's her second game-winning goal in the championship for Gotham. Obviously. Good job, Esther. But yeah, I thought about this the other day, and just it's a random thought.
Yeah.
But I would just have loved to have just one game with Emily Sonnett and Ali Krieger as our center back pairing. It would have been like, what are you going to do? Like the two like players with like infinite soccer IQs, and like Ali being the good cop and Emily just with her shithousery.
That's hilarious. I know. And no Tierna now because that just sucks.
What's Ali doing these days?
She's busy. She's out and about, and she's on ESPN, and she's killing it.
Yeah, she's doing everything. Yeah, and what this tournament does, it kind of exposes these players to the rest of the world, and you get to see other nations and other teams, and you get to see their players and how good they really are. And obviously, we know Avali from the World Cup and things like that, but she shined in these two games, and I don't know. I don't think Gotham has a wide left player. They got an international spot open and some cash. Go for her in the summer window. Come on, make it happen.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
It would be. So, any player notes you want to talk about?
Like you mentioned earlier, Jace looked really good. Definitely, I think getting back, to her old self after dealing with an injury, and not only that, but fitting better into Gotham's system. I think having her and Midge out wide is like so fun, and with a stare at the 9. Juan, if you're listening, keep a stare at the 9. I hate when she's in the 10.
Yes, agree.
Like, she does such a good job of dropping back to defend, which is kind of like what Lynn would do a lot, but it just, the team looks different when they do that. It just looks so different. And I'm not a coach. No one should hire me to be a coach. All I know is when Esther's in the 9, she's scoring a goal. I just saw how big she is in that build-up play and defensively, and so I thought she had a great tournament as well.
I think Gotham is, I mentioned this in the first game, but Gotham is a completely different team when you have Torres and Szczepanski on the field at the same time. They're very good at controlling where the game is played, and when you got players like Jace, who's just going to like bully her way down the line, and Gotham has not had a player like that. Like, she's a player like, I guess you can say Banda or Shawinga, where you just get the ball to her feet, and if you're on defense, she can break a line and just take it herself and bring you 60 yards downfield.
There was one point where she literally dribbled the ball through 4 defenders.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, she's physically strong, too.
Yeah.
So she can just push her way through.
So, an incredible acquisition. And you know what? I mean, we forget, like, this is a Gotham team that is missing still Roosevelt. No Tierna, as we mentioned, and no Gabby Portillo, who had been really good, and she's dealing with a hip injury. I hope we see her soon. I don't know when she'll be back. She's not like SEI or D45 as far as I know, so hopefully it's not long term. But they looked good. So if they can carry that form back into the NWSL, where for some reason they sit in 9th place, they should have no problems with the rest of the season. But they gotta win. They have to win. Like, they can't be dropping these points. This table is so tight.
No doubt. The best part about this game was...
I got off track.
No, they're fine. Best part about this game was Mandy Freeman lifting a trophy.
Oh, yeah.
Again. And she said, on winning the inaugural Concacaf W's Champions Cup, she said, I have no words. This has been 3 years in the making, and to finally have this moment to celebrate, even though we still have the FIFA Women's Champions Cup, we're really happy and excited. And Juan Carlos said, this was a historic moment for women's football and for Concacaf. We put a lot of time and effort into making sure we could be champions. It was a very important trophy for us, and we were over the moon that we could be able to achieve it. He said this is a game changer, not just for Gotham, but for the city of New York and for women's soccer in the region. It's massive. The fact that on the world stage for the next 3 years, Gotham's going to be there, and in one way or another, it's something we're very proud of. And honestly, this is a huge deal for not just the club, but for the league. And again, as you said, it's going to be the next 3 years, Gotham is going to be on the world stage playing some of the best teams in the world. And I couldn't be happier about it, Jenna.
Yeah, it's so cool. And this is something that Juan and Yael have talked at length about with me, to me, whatever. Since they brought Juan on, which is that they want to make this team a global team. That is their goal, and that is what they've done here by winning this tournament. I mean, it's a little crazy to me how it works with the timeline. And this is not just like this tournament. This happens in like other tournaments, men's, women's, like all around the world, where, okay, so Gotham qualified for this final by winning the championship in 2023. They played the first half of the tournament in 2024. And then 6 months later, in a completely new season, played the semifinal and final. And now they're in this, like, these two separate, like, competitions, one in 2026 and one in 2027 and 2028, I believe, based on this win, which technically started in 2023. So it makes no sense, but this is their goal. This is what they wanted, and they earned it. They did it. So it's awesome.
Indeed. So a hero of the match, fans put Sonnett at 39%, 28% was everyone, 31% Esther, and Jace was only 2%. Just your thoughts on hero of the match?
I mean, it's got to be Sonnett for earning that penalty. I mean, she literally created that moment out of actually nothing. It was pure brilliance, and and that was it. So yeah, Sonnett, 100%.
100% agree. So, what does this mean for Gotham to win this tournament? Again, we talked about being on the world stage for the next 3 years, but this tournament gets a little bit tighter. It's only 6 teams left in this tournament, and we are looking at, looks to be Gotham is going to play the winner of South America and get with the Conebol tournament. The winner plays us, and then we go on to play the winners of Europe and Asia and Africa. It's just amazing to be on the stage and look at some of the teams that Gotham could be playing. Arsenal qualified, which is awesome. You get to see Jenna. Hopefully, you get to see Jenna Nicewanger. Maybe we'll see her eventually. But it's just an amazing tournament to be a part of, and they qualify for this tournament next year, and they also qualify for the Club World Cup in 2028. So again. It's a huge deal, and I just can't wait for them.
And it's a huge deal because this is how you recruit the best players. You say, hey, we're playing in this FIFA thing, whatever. We're playing in this other FIFA thing. I'll never remember the names. World Cup and Champions Cup. I'll mix that up over for the next 3 years. But that is how you recruit the Jaces of the world, the Gabby Porchillos of the world, the Emily Sonnett, Tierna Davidsons of the world, the Esters of the world. Like, that is so important to the long-term vision of this club and its long-term success. So it's awesome. And, you know, I think their hope for 2026 Champions Cup is that they'll be facing Arsenal. That would be their hope. I think because that's the biggest stage they could possibly be on. It's the biggest stage they'll ever be on, for now. And it would be really cool to see, because we had that Chelsea Gotham friendly, which was a shit show of craziness, subs in and out, like retired players coming back, like it was so silly. But to see an actual game played between a WSL side and NWSL side is going to be really cool, and Gotham better win.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still mad that Chelsea was talking trash after that. Like we had like 15 or 16 players that weren't there. We were playing
know.
rookies
I
and
had
people
so
just
that
signed up.
that made me so annoyed because I honestly had so much fun,
Hmm.
like being there and covering that and seeing those players. And it's funny because friend of the show Nicole Baxter and I always joke about how she went in for the last few minutes and she almost had a goal up at the end. Like, how insane would that have been for Nicole Baxter, who had retired, who was just like bopping around Gotham for a few months, like during the international break, scored a goal on Chelsea. Like, it was just fun.
Hmm.
So yeah, I didn't take that so seriously. I had a really good time.
Yeah, yeah, indeed. So, up next, let's talk about someone who has been on the podcast twice, a player that's been on the podcast twice and has just announced her retirement. So, just congrats to Hensley Hancuff. She retired from professional soccer. She was drafted by Gotham in 2022, and her career spanned continents. She went to Australia for a while for the Brisbane Roar. And then she went to the 2023 A League. She was player of the player of the year, I think, over there. Then she went
Yeah.
over to North Carolina. Then she retired this year. She's just a unique person and a player, and I'm just so grateful to be able to talk to her on
Yeah.
the podcast.
Absolutely. I mean, it must be so tough to be a backup goalkeeper, and
Hmm.
especially a backup goalkeeper. You know that if you're in the NWSL, that you are an elite talent, but you won't be seeing the field.
Hmm.
And that's like a crazy place to be in. So I really commend the players, the goalkeepers who grind it out like that every day and have the mindset to keep grinding and want to stay in the NWSL in that way. And she was one of those players. So had a great time getting to know her while she was here, covering her a little bit. She became an instant fan favorite. And I definitely, yeah, like you said, wish her all the best on whatever's next. And it's one of the great things about covering this game is we get to meet these really awesome people. So
Yeah, and she's one of the things where we, as a mission of this podcast, is to tell the stories of players that don't get their stories told.
mhm.
So this is a player that we got lucky enough to be able to talk to, be able to tell her story, and her, like, she connected with fans so quickly, and it was like our top downloaded episode for, like, I don't know, maybe a year or
Wow.
so.
I believe it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was way more than like any of the other players. Like, she just had a story, and everyone wanted to know who she was, and again, uh,
Yes.
lucky
Very
enough to
good
do that.
story.
Hmm. And yeah, I'm going to try to reach out to her again, see if she ever wants to come on the podcast, either as a guest or a co-host or something like that. If she wants to stay close to the game, of course I will. So,
Yes.
next opponent for Gotham is, first let's talk about this standings. While Gotham was away, they dropped to number 9 in the standings, just below the playoff line. They are tied for with three-way tie for ninth, 10th, and 11th. They had plus two goal differential, which puts them ahead of everybody else. And they lost space to Racing, Angel City, and Seattle, who climbed a little bit while they were away. And we're talking about 12 points from first place, which just sounds kind of crazy at this point. And 12 points from the team we're going to be playing this weekend, or next weekend.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's crazy. The standings, and Gotham now has some ground to make up.
It's so NWSL to me that
Mhm.
Gotham has the fifth best goal differential in the league, but is ninth place in the table. Like it's so silly. And I think this is obviously not up the place that Gotham wants to be, but they've dropped how many losses?
Three.
Four losses. Like
Yeah, four losses. Yeah.
that's a lot.
Hmm.
Especially at this point in the season. So they're really gonna have to piece together some wins because those teams above them show no signs of slowing down. So if they want to get back into that playoff contention, there is definitely some work to do. And I have a feeling that goal differential is going to be a big player in the final standings this season because look how tight this is. I mean, so Gotham, yeah, like you said, Gotham at 12, North Carolina at 12, Bay FC at 12. And then above that, Racing, Angel City, and Seattle are all at 14. So, this there's a lot of work ahead in the league season.
Yeah. Just a side note, Racing's always a team that, like, when they're just below the line, they have like a positive goal differential, and when they're above the line, they have a negative goal differential, and I don't know how they do it. They're just a weird team.
Racing is such a mystery to me. They
Yeah.
always get the better of Gotham. I'm pretty sure they have the favorable. I don't have the exact matchup stats in front of me, but I'm pretty sure Gotham has only won against them once, maybe twice, and they've tied a couple times. But Racing has the better record against Gotham, no matter what the season is. So I don't know what that's about either. But they always seem to get under Gotham's skin.
Yeah, at this point, Gotham is 8th in goals per match at 1.2. They are 4th in goals conceded, 1 per game. 2nd in clean sheets with 4. 1st in fouls per match, 13.4, and 1st in yellow cards at 19. So
Crunchy.
Yeah, we got that going for us. So yes, next up is KC Sports Illustrated Stadium. It's going to be wild at 1 p.m. Next Saturday on the 7th, Pride Day. Gotham has scored 4 goals in their last 5 games, but they haven't scored in the last 3 games, which is pretty crazy. Time to get back on that horse again and score some goals. But KC, on the other hand, is scoring goals in bunches like they normally do. 10 goals in their last 5 games. Got the most clean sheets. So they're going to be a tough matchup always, especially with Chewinga. When Gotham tries to play that high line, they're usually in for it. So, what are your thoughts on this matchup?
Yeah, I mean, this is the toughest possible opponent that Gotham could get coming back into the league. So definitely has their work cut out for them. It's going to be on big CBS, so it's gonna be a big game. The Pride match is always very well attended. Actually, I meant to check in with the team to see if they're opening up the upper bowl, which sometimes happens during the Pride match because of how well attended it is. And they're going to be celebrating their trophy, so they're going to want to win. I mean, they're going to want to win, period. But there's a lot going on in this match, and I think they need to re-enter the league with that confidence from that win, get 3 points at home against the top team, and that will go a long way for them for the rest of the season if they can pull off this win.
Yeah, they have nothing else to focus on right now, so regular season is where it's at now.
Yep.
So they got no excuses. And if they get a big win in this game, that puts them right back in the power rankings as the top team.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. And hopefully with a little bit of time between this and the game, there's some time for Rose to get back, Gabby to get back, and hopefully Silva to get back as well. So we'll just have a full arsenal of players at our disposal. But do you think Gotham still belongs in the top teams of this league?
Oh yeah. 1,000%. I mean, they're in a self-described slump. I mean, the players would say that as well about their league form. It happens. Slumps happen. It's still early in the season, so I mean, if Gotham didn't make the playoffs this season, I would be shocked. Shocked. So they're definitely still in the mix, but they have work to do. So they can't coast, and they have to put in the work. Absolutely, I would still put Gotham in the top 4. 100%. Although San Diego's looking pretty good this year, so I might put them, in the top 5 right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that. I wouldn't.
Although that San Diego Gotham game is one of the most boring games I've ever seen in my life. But anyway.
Yeah, and Gotham did to themselves in that game. But yeah, so any manifestations for this game?
3 points. 3 points.
Yeah, I am all out of manifestations at this point because I wasted all mine on the tournament, and
That's
I got
so
what I wanted.
funny. You did.
So
you really did.
I don't know at this point.
Yeah.
I'm
manifesting 3 points. I'm manifesting a big win for the team to get back into that playoff race, to reestablish themselves as a NWSL superpower, because they definitely are.
All right, everybody. We will see you on the 7th. We should have the full team back, Ruby, Noella, and hopefully Jenna will join us as well. And we'll see you guys all there.